Before we get into Lucha Underground, I was thinking about how we could talk about this in general, maybe do like a standalone thing, but we're at the period.
I'm getting thrown something out of nowhere right now with zero prep.
But we're at the start of his run really in TNA in the main show, so it's not, we can't really talk about him so far. But Sting,
What about him? What's happening?
he's retiring
Oh shit, when?
in 2 days.
Oh, I hope he has his TNA theme.
Well, they have a version of it that I don't really like.
It has the like 2 minutes into it, so I was happy. That's all I needed.
Because I was listening to because I like the idea of that album's really cool, where they did a bunch of remixes of like the style of his songs through the years, and they had Dale Oliver and Dale Oliver's son do a new version of the TNA Sting theme.
It was very cute that they got them on there at least.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, it builds and it builds and it doesn't pay off.
Teddy Khan, I know you saw my tweet, motherfucker. I have the analytics. I know that you saw it.
You saw one view from Jacksonville.
Yeah, exactly. So, do the fucking Muda thing.
I think they will, and I think that like they'll use those songs from the album they released.
I think they should use the songs from the album for the ones they can't get. But if you can get the other ones, use them.
But yeah, they'll pay for Metallica and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they can get the TNA one.
They could if they asked, I'd imagine. But the question is, have they?
Yes.
Also, get the Main Event Mafia theme while you're there.
I can't the zero reaction from the crowd at no one knowing the Main Event Mafia theme.
Hey, that complete history of Main Event Mafia got like 1 million views, so everyone's going crazy.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, and he's gonna main event that show, and it's gonna be fucking awesome.
And he should win.
And he will. Do you think are they gonna do one last Flair turn? Is that gonna be the shtick?
Well, no, they were teasing it. That's the whole thing in the build. He's
Yeah,
gonna
like,
turn
they
on
double
Sting
down.
one last time. That whole thing was really badly done and ham-fisted, by the way.
Yeah. But then Sting came down from the roof.
Yeah, I guess he did.
They should have Darby jump down from the roof, but with no harness.
Just do a coffin drop from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Just hope somebody catches him.
Yeah.
Tell me about Sting, Liam.
I like Sting. I hope that he has a very good retirement match. And I have enjoyed his AEW run. And I'm glad that he's getting a proper retirement.
I've been thinking a lot about Sting as a performer in the week of Sting, and it's just one of those things where it's like, we need more wrestlers like Sting. Like, too many people are trying to be cool moves guys, too many people are trying to be cool heels, too many people are trying to like be irony guys. And
people with someone with just connection to the crowd.
Yeah, it's like a guy, when you watch Sting perform, that is like the defining thing. It's like, he is always performing for that audience. There's not like, I'm doing my moves, I'm getting my shit in, I'm Brian Cage, who we'll talk about on this episode of Lucha Underground. He's just like, there is a tangible connection between what he's doing and the people he's performing in front of that I think is largely lost in wrestling.
Like, it said Orange Cassidy does it a bit.
Because people always give out about bad crowds, and I'm like, it's the job of the performers to engage them. That's
the Chris Hero thing. There's no bad crowds, just bad wrestlers.
Yeah, if you have a bad crowd, it's because you didn't do enough to try and get that crowd on your side. You just went to the ring and did your moves and hoped the crowd would respond. And sometimes they do, and then other times they don't. And you have to pivot and be able to adapt and be able to bring the crowd in with you. And every time you watch Sting, that's what he does. He's always bringing that crowd in with him. Everything about the way he fires up and he throws his punches and he sells. And if you go back to early Sting and his insane athletic stuff, it's just like he's always explosive and bringing that crowd in and engaging them. And it's just like, more people like that. I watch a lot of wrestlers at the moment where I'm just like, people have the wrong influences. And I say that, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio are the two most influential wrestlers of a generation. Every W Performance Center wrestler says they love Eddie Guerrero, and then you're like, did you ever watch him? How have you not learned anything from what he did? And I watch a bunch of Samoa Joe at the moment. Everybody should be watching that man. Everybody, and trying to be Samoa Joe, try to be Sting, try to be everyone's trying to be Will Ospreay. It's killing me, Liam. It's killing me that everyone's trying to be Will Ospreay, and Will is Will. You can't be him. You will never be better at what Will does than Will.
Yeah, and it's like, why are you trying to be Will when Will exists?
Yeah.
And is the most relevant wrestler in the world.
Still in his physical prime, being Will better than anybody will be Will. So how about you try and find the market inefficiency, to put it crudely, the thing that's not being done, the thing that's original and unique and makes you stand out, as opposed to just doing Oz cutters in every single match.
Everyone just wants to be the wrestlers that they like to watch. And like I think every wrestler will freely admit that's how they all start. You just do the things that you liked watching, and then eventually you realize that's not how it works, and you find your own identity.
You have to bring some art to it.
Well, like Omega talked about that when he's like, when I first started, I was just doing low-key shit. And then he's like, then I realized I'm not going to do Loki shit better than Loki.
Loki's pretty cool.
So, like, I should find my own identity.
Still Tony Khan's most coward move, not bringing in Loki.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Revolution has just passed 16,000.
Doubling the Ric Flair's last match crowd. Though Ric Flair's last match, I'm not going to say felt like a bigger deal, because obviously I think Sting's, the business of Sting's last match will blow it out of the water. But Ric Flair's last match did feel like a more pervasive moment in time than Sting's has.
No, because it was pervasive.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. It was more in your facely promoted.
Yeah, and that one was impressive because it was like an independent entity too.
They did a good job of promoting that, and as you said, to the extent that it was a little bit annoying, but they did a good job promoting that.
I mean, I was into it.
A funny.
Real artist would have died in the ring.
He came close.
But yeah, like it's cool that Sting gets to go out probably in the main event in front of 16,000 people.
Yeah, and probably does a real good number on pay-per-view, and hopefully has a real good match. I would be surprised if they don't, but he is very
like
old.
I said it before, the Bucks and Darby will kill themselves to make sure that this match is good.
It'll be very funny if he has like the perfect farewell in the way that Undertaker could. Like, get fucked. One final fuck you from Sting to the Undertaker.
One final proof that he is better.
Yeah, but Sting rocks, and like his TNA run is we covered this a little bit on the Final Resolution episode, or Against All Odds, one of them, where like Sting didn't talk in WCW very famously. He stood around for a year and did not talk. So like the idea of Sting as a promo guy is very underrated, because like that's his TNA run basically, is where he got to talk, he got to show sides of his character that involved speaking. The famous one is Joker Sting, where he's very funny and stupid and enjoyable. But like Sting in the main Mafia stuff, his promos are great. A real underrated little Sting run, and it's only like 2 or 3 months, but it's like end of 2011, start of 2012. Authority figure Sting is one of my favorite wrestling authority figures.
Yes, because he's just completely like unhinged.
Yeah, he's just off the wall, batshit crazy.
So I was gonna say, shout out to Dynamite last week, where we like got a taste of Joker Sting for but a moment.
Yeah, there's a segment in December 2011 where Sting is pitting Karen Jarrett and Jeff Jarrett against each other. He's like, one of you have to go, but you can decide between yourselves which it is. So there's a segment earlier in the night where Jarrett's like, oh, you know, Karen, she really wants to stay home with the kids. It's like, and Karen goes in, it's like, Jeff, you know, he's past his prime. It's my moment now. Jeff has had time. And then Sting brings them in together and shows them the footage of it, and they melt down at each other. It's the famous 100 Jeff Jarrett's promo, if you've never seen it, where Karen's like, there's 100 Jeff Jarrett's, and Jeff Jarrett's like, for 7 times there, he's like, 100 Jeff Jarrett's. It's so good. It's so good. That era of Sting is very underrated. But like that's for me what like is the defining part of his TNA run, just like the dude getting to talk, which is I've said it a couple times, a shame, because like his promo in the go home period for Revolution, so good. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I honestly feel like, you know, it's a little bit worth it just to have it. You know, like if that's like the defining promo of his run, I'm fine with it, because that promo is like an all-timer.
Yeah, and like again, people should be learning more from Sting, because like none of that promo was irony. It used reality in a way to inform the story. Like, it's so good. It's like exactly what that promo should have been after he got killed by the Young Bucks. It's none of like, I want to have a good match in my last match. Fuck off with all of that. It's like, you beat the shit out of me and I'm going to fucking kill you.
The venom he had in his voice. It was truly a remarkable effort.
Shout out to the Stinger.
Woo.